Art provide about the importance of service and duty.
More of that video at the very end of this one. That was made for a friend, for a company, for a group that we're going to discuss in this sort of video itself. Okay, welcome to Ranger Media, and my name's Luke. Okay, what we're going to be talking about today then is the sort of community, the bond, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, whatever you want to call it, something that you become a part of as soon as you sign on that dotted line and start a life of service. It does not matter if you serve 2 years, 4 years, 12 years, whatever it is. You know, it doesn't matter if you're a chef, a signaller, a driver, an infanteer, an Apache gunfighter pilot. It doesn't matter. One day you will be a veteran. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. The group then we're going to talk about is a group called the Warriors RV, and it was set up by a guy called Sam Benson. He is an ex-Irish Ranger, and he comes from a family with a wealth of military experience. At one stage in the regiment, it was himself and his 2 other brothers and his father were serving in the regiment at the same time. His father, at a time, was the longest serving soldier in the army. So he was a ranger, and he went all the way up through all the way ranks, RSM, became LE, so he was an officer, and then all the way up through the officers. So at a stage, he was the longest serving soldier. So a lot of experience there. Right, Sam got out then when he was a full screw, so a corporal, and I want to say it was like 3 or 4 years ago now, and went off into the CP industry, so close protection. There at this sort of time then, there was quite a lot of, it's no new news, there was quite a lot of veterans at a stage, and not even just veterans, service men and women, where having mental health was a serious issue, and it's still, I believe now we've started to, I wouldn't say control, but there's a lot more help out there than there was at that stage. There's a lot more control measures and education and helping people out. Before we get into this, there is a lot of official charities and official networks either within the service at the minute or outside the service. So outside the service, you're talking about Help for Heroes and things like that there. So what we're going to talk about now, the Warriors RV, is not a charity. It was set up by Sam Benson. So he's seen an issue there, and what we sort of realised, was the sort of power of speaking to each other, which everyone knows everything about mental health. The biggest thing that everyone says, it's okay to talk about it, and that was so before all the M campaigns sort of came out. He realised this, so he wanted to set something up so people could talk away from not having to go and speak to your official chain of command, because they may have thought that people were staying away from that because at the time there was that sort of stigma about it at that time. So it was to create this Facebook group at the time, so using social media, and he called it Warriors RV, and there was just loads of guys on it from the regiment just initially, and it was that network to set up to speak to each other, and if it was someone who you didn't know, you hadn't heard of in a while, you could send them a message on there and just start that sort of speaking piece, so keeping each other together. But then, like his personality, Sam, he's well known, and any courses he's been on when he was in the army, he networked with everyone, and he had a big sort of network within the army itself. So that group then snowballed. Other guys decided to share it to who they knew in the army, and just snowballed that time, particularly through the infantry, and then over into the Navy, specifically the Royal Marines, because he knew quite a few Royal Marine commandos and stuff. So it started to roll through there as well. And then to this day now, you're talking, it's about 13,000 people on there. On Facebook. Now, some people might go, "Oh, that's not a really big group." It is a very big group when you're talking about military service here in Britain, not America, because you're flipping massive. But here, that's massive. And if you think about the safety net that it has a massive reach across the whole of UK and parts of the world. Because a lot of veterans, they get out and they go work flipping wherever. And what it was designed to do, and does, is if anyone was sort of struggling, they either put it on themselves, like, listen, I'm not feeling right, or I'm going through this kind of divorce, or I've lost my job here, or I can't stop thinking about X, Y, and Z. Straight away, there's someone on there speaking to that person, and if not, and it's right, you can tell where it is a bigger issue, there's someone there on that person's doorstep, or they're within, and they don't have to do this. No, they're not paid to do it. It's not their job. It's just that community, that bond that I was talking about at the start of the video, that you become a part of as soon as you sign on. And some of these people don't know, they didn't know these people whenever they were serving in their military experience. It's just you've served, and that's all they need to know. And they're straight away doing that. I have no doubt in my mind, 110%, that that has saved countless lives. It really has. And even flicking back to things like the Manchester bombings attacks, quite a lot of veterans went into the private security sector, so close protection. So they've got first responder sort of skills and whatnot. They were sort of using this as like an ops room, like an operations room, that Facebook group, and saying, right, okay, I live quite close to Manchester, I'm going down there now. Obviously, they weren't getting delved into the middle of it, because that's the security services, the ambulance service, their job, but they were going down there to help crowds of civilians who are not used to that kind of stuff, who are flapping, who are worried, who they're maybe seeing sort of injuries, and they want to go home. There was taxi drivers in Manchester who were ex-service people, who are part of the group, were saying, listen, I'm down this road in Manchester now, my taxi is completely free fare. Anyone who's involved, or if you know anyone, tell me where to go and I will take them home. I will get them away from it. So that is, I'm telling you now, veterans are the flipping backbone. Definitely in the UK, we're the backbone of civilian society. They are 100%. And that's like one specific case where they're helping the civilian sort of community out. In our own community then, they're helping, so especially now what's going on, sort of all the COVID stuff, and a lot of people either losing their job or their income being dramatically decreased. People that they're on this now saying, they're explaining their situation. A veteran has went, right, no dramas, I'm going to be there now. And they will provide they'll do online shopping for them, enough so the weekly shop, tie them over to their paycheck, or they're helping them out with rent, all that sort of stuff. And this is people doing it with their own money. They're not obliged to do it in any shape or form. It's just that sense of that bond, the brotherhood, the sisterhood, whatever you want to call it, and it's just for your life, and that's what it is. That's what the group is anyway. It's a class group. If you are about to join, 100%, as soon as you're in, you have to be in to get onto that Facebook group, because it's a closed one. However, they do have a YouTube channel. It's just started, so he's only got one video plus the video I've done here, which I'm going to show you. But the first video he's got on there is like a podcast, which Sam's looking at doing once a week. And the first one's extremely interesting. It's called a guy called Smudge. He does a clothing company called Red Coat Apparel. He was also in service. He got out and he was in done CP route, done that for a bit, jumped out. He also had his own sort of ups and downs with his mental health, and he completely opens up on that podcast, tells all about his life experiences, how he coped with mental health, how he knew the alarm bells were happening. So that's a really interesting podcast, and he's going to have a lot more people like Smudge on there. So if it's stuff that you like, entrepreneurship, if you've no military experience or you don't tend to go in the military, go on that and see how a military person thinks, their mindset, and how they get on to start businesses up like that, because you could learn something. And then the other end of the spectrum, if you're someone who's going through yourself some mental health issues, get on there. There's nothing better than listening to someone who's went through it, and they're really opening up, telling exactly how their feelings were, and they're really discussing it and getting it out there, and go listen to that conversation, because you could get something out of it, and you could pass that on to someone else. So it's really good, healthy, good information. Right, so that's Warriors RV. Gleeman, Sam Benson has started it, and without a doubt, like I have said before, it has saved countless lives. It's very well known within the community, within the service community and veteran community. It's not known outside of that, and it's their actions that some of them people do in there is unreal, and it needs to be heard. That's why I'm doing this video. Get out here, share this video, and really get into them and listen to what they say and see what they do. They haven't asked to be awarded or do anything. This is just people doing stuff off their own back. 100%. And hopefully this video gets somewhere where someone can do something for them, because they're doing so much great work. Right, so the video itself then that showed at the very start, he asked me to create something. I created it to sort of show what it is. Please leave a comment in the comment section on what you think about the video. Let me know if you really can, be honest, and if it impacted you. And what I would ask, no matter what device you're watching this now, try and get into a position now to watch this video where you have headphones, to really and put yourself into a different room where there's not loads of noise and stuff going on, and really focus in on this video, and let me know if it impacts you and what way it does impact you. But yes, thank you very much, and I will see you again on another video. And this is a video I done for Warriors RV.
None of us will ever forget this day, yet we go forward to defend freedom and all that is good and just in our world.
This attack stands out for its appalling, sickening cowardice.
They shall grow not old, as we that are left grow old. Age shall not weary them, nor the years condemn. At the going down of the sun and in the morning, we will remember them. When you go home, tell them of us and say, for your tomorrow we gave our today.
The example to the world that all servicemen and women, injured or not, provide about the importance of service and duty.
Goes on, and I hope it becomes bigger than it is at the minute, and I want to try and save as many warriors from going down that route as possible.
I see fire.